The Diamond, I waited for a dusty one-way ticket to Austin. My boyfriend of 5 years, Tyler, sat me down on a random rainy Tuesday night in our beige Seattle apartment. He had that look, the one where he's practicing a speech in his head. Then, he said the words that usually kill a relationship. I think we need a break, Maya, just to see if we truly miss each other. I didn't argue. I didn't throw a plate. I just looked at him stone-faced and said, I understand. What he didn't know was that I'd been hiding a velvet box in my nightstand for 3 weeks. I'd saved up for 6 months to buy him the vintage gold watch he'd been eyeing at that boutique downtown. I'd even spent my lunch breaks sucking up to his nightmare of a boss, just to make sure Tyler's promotion went through without a hitch. I was ready to build forever with this man. But as he sat there, droning on about finding his own light and needing space to breathe as an individual, I just started mentally packing. I watched him fidget with his sleeves, probably waiting for me to beg, cry, or give some cinematic speech about our 5 years together. Instead, I helped him move his stuff into the guest room that same night. I even folded his laundry. He looked offended that I wasn't a total wreck. The next morning, I did something completely beautifully insane. I walked back into that boutique, returned the watch, and walked out with $4,000 in cold, hard cash. I didn't go back to the apartment. I drove straight to the airport and booked a one-way ticket to Austin, Texas. See, Tyler always hated the South. He called it too loud, unrefined, and way too hot. He had our whole life mapped out in the Pacific Northwest. A gray modern condo in the suburbs, organic grocery stores, and quiet weekends at boring wine tastings. He wanted a life that looked good on a brochure, but felt like a cage to me. 2 weeks later, I was standing on South Congress Avenue. The air smelled like slow-cooked brisket and cedarwood, and the sound of a slide guitar was pouring out of every single doorway. For the first time in half a decade, I felt electric. I landed a job managing a quirky, neon-lit boutique hotel, and spent my nights at the local honky-tonks. I wasn't just Maya, the girlfriend, anymore. I was the girl in the vintage boots who knew how to two-step better than the locals. Meanwhile, my sister kept me posted on Tyler's journey of self-discovery. He was posting deep gym selfies every single morning and hitting the same 3 trendy bars every weekend, clearly trying to prove he was living his absolute best life. According to my sister, he kept casually asking if I'd finally calmed down and come home yet. Then, the messages started. At 2 a.m, my phone buzzed. I made a massive mistake, he texted. The apartment feels like a tomb without you. This break was the stupidest thing I've ever done. When are you flying back? I didn't reply. I was too busy watching the sunrise over Lady Bird Lake. Then came the anger. I saw your post. Texas? Seriously, Maya? That's so childish. You're just running away from our real adult life to play cowgirl. It's embarrassing. Answer me. I looked up from my phone and caught the eye of Mateo, a local songwriter who'd been teaching me how to play the blues on a beat-up acoustic guitar. He leaned over, took a slow sip of his black coffee, and grinned. You know, Mateo whispered, his Texas drawl thick and warm. Some people spend their whole lives looking for a map, when all they really need is a heartbeat. I felt a rush of heat in my chest that had nothing to do with the Texas sun. I pulled up Tyler's chat and sent one final message. I found someone who doesn't need a map to know exactly where they belong. Good luck with the condo, Tyler. His response came back in 30 seconds. Texas is a joke. You'll be back in a month when you realize you can't hack it in the heat. I didn't even bother to block him. I just turned off my phone, grabbed my guitar, and stepped out onto the porch to start my new life. It turns out, I didn't need a break to find myself. I just needed to leave him behind.